Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to today's session hosted by KLE Society's Arts and Commerce College, Gadag. My name is Dr. A.K. Matt, IQAC coordinator at KLE's Arts and Commerce College, Gadag. Today, we are presenting impact of GST, that is goods and services tax, on Indian economy. Today, we have one of the dynamic academicians as a resource person for this webinar. I am very much privileged to introduce him. Dr. D.L. Hebbar, sir, Associate Professor and Head of the Department of Economics at Shri Dharmasthala Manjunatheshwara College of Arts, Science, Commerce, Business Administration and PG Studies, Honavar. Sir has completed PhD from Karnataka University, Dharwad, on infrastructure development in Karnataka, a case study of Uttara Kannada district under the guidance of Professor Uluyappa, retired Professor, Department of Economics, KUD. He has completed one minor research program sponsored by UGC on infrastructure development in coastal taluks of Uttara Kannada district. He has presented 26 papers at various international and national seminars and conferences. Some of his papers are published in ISSN numbered journals. He published books on economic development of India. He is a member of Lions Club Honavar since 1995 and worked in different capacities as a secretary for the year 96-97 and got Best Secretary Award, and president in 2002-03 and got Best President Award. He has participated in the Global Skills Enhancement Program conducted by Infosys BPO at Infosys Leadership Institute, Mysore. He worked as Nodal Officer for School of Correspondence, Karnataka University, Dharwad. He acted as a chairperson for the technical sessions of various seminars and conferences. He acted as resource person for the number of programs. He is a life member of Indian Society of Labor Economics, Karnataka University Economics Teachers Forum, Indian Economic Association Delhi, Karnataka Economic Association Bengaluru, and he is a life member and Dharwad Region Director of Karnataka Rajya Arthika Parishat Bengaluru. He is Executive Committee member of Karnataka Rajya Madhyamika Shikshaka Sangha Bengaluru. He is BOE member of Economics, Karnataka University, Dharwad, and BOE member of Government First Grade Autonomous College, Karwar. One more thing I would like to tell about sir here is that when I asked him to be the resource person for today's webinar, without a second thought, immediately he agreed. Really, I am very happy today. I have never seen such an enthusiastic and active person. Really, we are lucky to have you here, sir. With this brief introduction, I present before you Dr. D.L. Hebbar, sir. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Good morning, everybody. Respected Principal Professor M.B. Kolavi of esteemed KLE Society's Arts and Commerce College, Gadag, IQAC coordinator and my good friend and colleague, Dr. A.K. Matt, all other senior and junior professors of the college, non-teaching staff, and the galaxy of senior and junior professors of different discipline, research scholars, my dear student friends who are watching this webinar from different places. Very good morning to all of you. And at the same time, I wish you a very warm greetings from SDM Degree College, Honavar. Dr. Ekemat has introduced me in such a wonderful way. I feel that in the presence of my wife, if you introduce me in such fashion, she would be rather happy. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for your kind words towards me. It gives me an immense pleasure to share my views on GST and its impact on the Indian economy. My presentation for the next around 40-45 minutes contains introduction, objectives of the study, hypothesis, methodology, significance, review of literature, rate of GST in selected countries, and how GST is more beneficial compared to the previous tax structure, positive and negative impact of GST on our economy. Lastly, to end with the conclusion. I have prepared this paper similar to that of a seminar paper, or it would be rather helpful those who are writing article for different magazines and journals. To start with introduction, the major source of revenue of any welfare nation is tax revenue. For the rapid progress of any nation, it is compulsory to have a good taxation system. The term tax is derived from a Latin syllable taxa, which means to calculate or estimate. India has started review of its tax structure since 1980. Taxation system in India comprised of direct and indirect tax, as all of you know. The goods and service tax is one of the most debated indirect tax system. GST is a comprehensive, multi-stage, destination-based tax, which will be imposed on every value addition of goods or service. The introduction of GST in our economy is a long and bold journey towards progressive India. Since independence, India has faced many problems and challenges because of complex indirect tax system. However, all these complexities are assumed to be neutralized by the present GST structure, which has replaced all state and central indirect taxes by one simple unique tax. The main idea of implementation of GST is to replace the existing indirect taxes like VAT, that's a value added tax, excise duty, service tax, sales tax, etc. GST will be levied on manufacture, sale, and consumption of goods and services. More than 150 countries have so far implemented GST in this world. The historic new tax system was launched at a function in the Central Hall of Parliament by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi on 1st July 2017, Friday midnight. GST involves the principle of one nation, one tax, one market, which is aimed at unifying country's 3 trillion economy and 1.3 billion people into a common market. At present, the various goods and services fall under 5 different slabs, namely 0%, 5%, 12%, 18%, and a maximum of 28%. For the business people, the elimination of multiple tax system will help to improve their business. And for the consumers, the ultimate advantage would be in terms of a reduction in overall tax burden on goods and services, and hence decrease in price level. At the time of implementation of the GST, the then Finance Minister Arun Jaitley rightly remarked that inflation will come down, tax avoidance will be difficult, India's GDP will be benefited, and extra resources will be used for welfare of the nation. It is expected to bring about 2% incremental GDP growth of the country. Therefore, I feel that GST is need of the hour in our resourceful country. See, while preparing this paper, I aimed at focusing the following objectives. The first one being to analyze the impact of GST on different productive sectors of the economy, to know the amount of revenue collected during the GST era, to study the rate of GST in selected countries, to understand the major benefits of GST, and to highlight largely the positive and negative impacts of GST on Indian economy. The methodology I used in this paper is purely this study is based on the secondary data. The sources are collected through the books, journals, leading newspapers, periodicals, etc. Information is also dragged by referring scholarly research articles and different websites. Data so collected are analyzed and presented in the form of a table, graphs, and diagrams to reach the conclusion. Moreover, I have used a small statistical tool also to derive the conclusion in this paper, which I will show in the ensuing slides. The hypothesis I set here are GST is useful to increase the revenue of the government, very general. GST has positive impact on the Indian economic development, which I have proved in the ensuing discussions. As far as significance of the study is concerned, GST is most debated burning of the country. It was launched at midnight on 1st July 2017 as a political gesture to signify India's second highest of destination, first being 1947, while India was getting independence from the Britishers. Our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, said that the regions of India like Bihar and West Bengal that are rich with resources yet lag in development will develop because of the implementation of the GST. The former President of India, Pranab Mukherjee, said the GST Council had pleasantly surprised everyone by completing its task on time. In the opinion of Chanda Kochhar, the former MD and CEO of ICICI Bank, this is transformational reform which will have multiple benefits like the creation of national market, enhanced ease of doing business, greater productivity and efficiency as improved tax compliance. About 17 indirect taxes are replaced by the GST system. The opposition leaders in the parliament have accused the system of GST as incompetent and insensitive and of steamrolling the initiative without foresight. Therefore, I feel it is quite interesting to study in detail the various positive as well as negative effects of GST on our economy. As far as literature review is concerned, while preparing this paper, I have referred many literatures. Alpana Yadav in her article, studied the sector-wise impact of that GST and concluded that this unique tax structure will have a positive impact on the Indian economy over a long period of time. Dr. Yogesh Kailash Chandra Agarwal, in his article, studied the various positive as well as negative impact of GST on Indian economy and concluded that the GST proves to be a game changer in a positive way and proves to be beneficial even to the common man. A Dash, in his article, studied the country-wise GST rates, existing indirect tax structure of India, and highlighted the general benefits of the GST. Malandip Kaur, Kajol Chaudhary, etc. have compared the rate of taxes on different items before and after the implementation of GST. In this table, I have given a comparative analysis of the rates of GST of different or selected countries. Say, if you look at this figure, India's GST ranges from 0 to 28%. Besides Belgium and Sweden, India's GST rate is highest. Obviously, the critics criticizes. And moreover, many critics say that why not a single rate of GST in our country as in the Western model. But my opinion is, since there's a lot of income discrimination among the different sections in India, a single rate of GST is not viable. Many percentage of people belongs to low income category and middle income. Very few are, let's say, high income categories. Therefore, single rate of GST cannot be implemented in India as in the Western countries. The same figure is shown in terms of the bar graphs, which shows that India's GST rate is the highest, that is up to 28%. In this chart, I have given a list of indirect taxes which was levied on goods and services before the implementation of the GST. Central taxes and sales taxes like central excise, additional excise duty levied under medical and toiletries, additional duties of customs, service tax, surcharge, cess, state level VAT, sales tax or central taxes, purchase tax, entertainment tax, luxury tax, entry tax, lottery tax, betting, surcharges, cess, etc. Such kind of 17 indirect taxes are subsumed today with the implementation of the GST. At the time of implementation of the GST, that's on 1st July 2017, government has released the different items in different tax structure. This chart shows the rate of that's a tax from 0 to 28%. You can have a glance on this slide. Many essential goods like milk, egg, curds, unpacked food items, etc. are not taxed. That belongs to 0%. Many are under 12%, and remaining few commodities under 18. And those goods which are highly consumed by the aristocrat people are placed in 28%. Now, a lot of changes have taken place in this tax structure also. Even recently, with a few months back, government has shifted many items which were in 28% tax to 18%. The 18% tax structure goods and services are placed under 12% and so on. A lot of changes are taking place with the lapse of time. See here in this table, in the initial month of the GST, that's from July 2017 to December 2017, 2018, I have collected the revenue collected by the GST. In July month, it was 95,000, and in December, a little bit less, that's 80,808 crores. But look at the star there. In April 2018, GST collection has crossed 1 lakh crores. Out of curiosity, I have applied a small statistical tool here, that is trend projection method, by using a linear equation, that is y equal to a plus bx, that's with the two variables. I have estimated, I have forecasted revenue from GST in the ensuing, that's 5 months. This is a graphical presentation of the last 5-6 months. See, look at the formula. The equation used in forecasting the, let's say, revenue of GST is y equal to a plus bx. We, the economists, are most familiar with this equation. Why? Because we used to use this equation in forecasting the demand or sales of the business organization. To find out the A and B, let's say, values, summation y divided by n, and B value, summation x or sigma x y divided by sigma x square. See, as per this formula, y here stands for, let's say, variables, that is a revenue variable from July 95,000. I have taken here round figure only, 95,000. In November, it is 83. Therefore, total is 456. It is x number of years, x square, and x into, let's say, y. It comes to 0 through midpoint standard deviation. X square value is, let's say, 10, and it is minus 2 in case of, let's say, x and, let's say, minus 2 in case of, let's say, B value. See here, minus 20 divided by 10, therefore. To find out the A value, apply the summation of the previous table. That's a summation, that's 456 divided by 5, 91.2, minus 20 divided by 10, minus, that's a 2. Therefore, to apply the values to this equation y equal to a plus bx, 91.2 plus minus 2 into x means, that's a 5 months. I said that we are going to forecast for the next 5 months. Result is 81,000 crores. The trend projection also shows that there will be a marginal decrease in GST over these 5 months. But in actual practice, the total GST revenue in the month of April 2018 really crossed 1 lakh crores. That is 1,03,458 crores. In this table, I have collected GST revenue month-wise from January 18 to December 2018. A lot of variations in the collection of this revenue because of, let's say, delay in that's filing or some technical aspects caused for. In few months, the revenue from GST has crossed 1 lakh crores. Again, in this table also, it's from January 19 to December 19. See the red mark in the month of this April 2019, a new benchmark is recorded in the collection of GST revenue, that is 1,13,865 crores, ever highest so far. Look at another table in the COVID period, particularly from January 20 to July 20. I have collected up to July 20. See, total July 8th, 2020 it is. But in the last April month, again, market especially there, GST revenue was so lowest. It is because of the shutdown of Indian economy due to COVID pandemic. Many business firms were unable to work during those period. Hence, the GST collection has gone down. In the last April, it was our highest, 1,13,000 crores, but here hardly 32,294. Now come to the interesting aspect, how GST is more beneficial compared to the previous value-added tax. Quite often, many students even ask these questions. Why GST is beneficial compared to the last indirect tax system? See, VAT is calculated on the basis of the market price of goods, but GST is calculated purely on the basis of net value added to the commodity at each stage of production to consumption. Before the implementation of the GST, the structure of indirect tax was like this. See, I have prepared a chart here. Manufacturer buys raw materials for manufacturing, which includes that's VAT. After manufacturing, it will be sent to the wholesaler or a for gross, that's a distribution. Sale to wholesaler or like warehouses. It includes GST plus excise duty will be levied. Further, he will ship commodities to retailer, again liable to pay VAT. Retailer send it for the final, let's say, consumers, liable to put that's VAT again. Hence, tax on a cumulative basis is the defect of previous indirect tax structure. See, under GST, tax will be that's levied at multi-stage, but only on, that's to be remembered, only on value added at each stage of that production. I've taken here a simple example of biscuit manufacture, how value addition takes place. See, in the first, flour and sugar are the raw material purchased by the manufacturer. He manufactures biscuit in his form, will send to wholesaler for labeling, lastly for retailer advertisement and so on. How value is added, we shall take some actual figures also in the next slide. Based on the example, biscuit manufacture, let us take some actual figures to observe what happens to the total cost of goods and taxes by comparing the earlier tax regime and the present GST regimes. See, this table shows the earlier or before implementation of the GST, how tax structure that works. Manufacturer assume that purchases raw materials for 1,000, tax rate assume that it is a 10%. 10% of 10,000 is 100, therefore 1,100 is the invoice. Next, he will send to wholesaler where labeling and repacking cost for value addition of assume that 300 rupees. It should be in case of GST 1,300, but here tax is also added here, that's 1,400, therefore 10% 140, invoice come to 1,540. And will send to retailer, and he, for advertisement and so many, he adds value worth 500 rupees, therefore it becomes 2,040, including 140, that's a tax. Tax is therefore 204 rupees, total invoice is 2,244. If you look at the entire tax burden here, it comes about 444 rupees tax liability. That's 204 plus 140 plus 100. But remember this table, look at the GST regime now. Here, the tax liability is shifted from production to stage of production to production or every stage of transaction. And the financial liabilities comes to rest with that's a customer. This system of tax on tax is known as cascading effect, which was the main drawback of the last or indirect tax system before GST. Now, the cascading effect has absolutely neutralized or minimized with the introduction of GST. Cascading effect was caused for increasing the price for the commodities where burden was to be borne by the ultimate consumer. Now under a GST regime, same example, manufacturer purchases 100,000 rupees worth raw materials. GST rate is tax rate is 10%. Assume that 100 rupees is a tax liability. Invoice 1,100 and sent to wholesaler who adds labeling and so on. 300 rupees worth is value addition. Tax now it's 1,300, and for 1,300, 10% tax is hardly 130. In the previous tax system, the first, let's say, tax on raw materials was also added to the next level, but here it is not so. Tax liability therefore now hardly 40 rupees. And sent to retailer who adds 500 rupees worth value addition. It comes therefore 2,800, 10% is 180, and total price of that's commodity is 1,800. The tax liability here is only 180 rupees. In the previous tax structure, it is 444 rupees is the tax liability. But now under GST, it is hardly 180, and the invoice is also hardly price of the commodity is 1,800, invoice is 1,980 rupees, far economical as far as consumers are concerned. Hence, I feel that it is advantageous both for the manufacturers as well as consumers. Now, come to analyze the positive impact of that's a GST. GST is a single taxation system which will combine all types of existing complex indirect taxes. Therefore, it is a unique that's a tax system. Price of goods and services would reduce, which in turn will be beneficial to the general public. Why price reduces? I have shown with the previous charts. That's tax calculation under VAT before implementation of the GST and after implementation of the, let's say, GST. Tax on tax is not permitted in case of the that's a GST. GST would reduce the burden of state and central governments as all indirect taxes would come under that's a single roof. There is no need of separate establishment of offices and separate heads for that's the collection of taxes and so on. GST would not be charged at every point of that's a sale like other indirect taxes. Hence, it would be helpful for widening the market for the business community. Absolutely, GST is corruption-free tax system and very less chance to evade the tax. Those who are doing business and the business turnover is more than 20 crore rupees, they are liable to register under the GST Act compulsorily and periodically, either quarterly, biennially, or annually, they have to file the that's returns, they have to pay the that's a tax promptly. Hence, up to 20 lakh rupees, whose business is there, small, petty business holders need not that's file or need not pay tax under the GST regime. The foremost important effect of the GST is removes cascading effect of taxes. I said cascading effect is tax on tax in the previous indirect tax system. Cost of manufacturing will reduce, hence price of the consumer goods are likely to come down, which enriches the purchasing power of the general consumers. Cost of collection of tax also decreases because of the single point. Simple online procedure for return filing. And lastly, in case of GST, there is a provision to claim the credit for tax paid in acquiring input at the time of returns filed by the business community, which is known as input credit provision. See, if they invest on purchasing of the raw materials, there's a provision to claim such that's the amount at the time of returns for the business committee. Hence, the GST is very, very favorable tax system for the expanding the business. I do agree with you all that GST is not 100% pure. In fact, GST has also some negative impact. To analyze few, GST would adversely affect the real estate market, which we are experiencing during the post-GST period. GST would reduce the revenue of major manufacturing states. Why? Because here, all states are not manufacturing hubs in India. The states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, these few states are largely manufacturing hub. But those goods which are manufactured in those states cannot be disposed of within the state. It is to be sent to other states also. GST is liable, let's say state level GST and central level GST equally it will be shared. But one more provision in the GST is IGST, integrated GST system. Those states manufactures and sends, say for example from Gujarat is a manufacturing hub and commodity is consumed or goods and services are consumed in that's Karnataka. Such revenue, because of integrated GST, revenue will go to, let's say, Karnataka state. Therefore, some business people feel that that's a state revenue, that's particularly the business manufacturing states or large industries hub will put to little bit loss because of the GST system. Telecom, banking, insurance, airline, etc. services will become expensive. Already you have seen these services comes under the 28% tax slab. Even though if you purchase a life insurance policy, you are liable to pay 20%. That's a tax on your, say for example, broadband connection, telephone, and Wi-Fi connection in your house also liable to put 28% tax. Hence, those bills have gone up. Consumers will have mixed blessings because of a price of many commodities will come down and the price of a few goods and services will, let's say, increase. GST being a new tax system, it will take some more time for the people to understand its implications very clearly. Lastly, but not least one, GST returns file is somewhat complex, somewhat, let's say, difficult, somewhat cumbersome. Friends, so far I have highlighted both positive as well as negative impact of the GST. To conclude my presentation with the analysis of the impact of GST on Indian economy, the research has come to the following conclusion that compared to the previous indirect tax, the GST is beneficial both to the business community and the consumers at large. GST revenue is increasing over the years. Besides a little fluctuations during the COVID period, which I have shown clearly through the previous tables. The tax system is conducive to lift our present 3 trillion economy to 5 trillion that's economy in future, as per the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. Elimination of cascading effect will definitely reduce the cost of production and hence the business will flourish in India. Reduction in tax rate on goods and services will increase, hence purchasing power, we call in economics as purchasing power, that's buying capacity of the consumers will increase, hence consumption basket will increase. In any country, if the rate of consumption increases, it will be in turn beneficial for expanding the business also. Turnover of the industrial sector or other sectors will also proportionately increase. Hence, unless the consumption basket increases, no country can expand its production. GST has therefore widened the consumer market. For preparation of this paper, I have referred many articles, scholarly research articles, journals, books, and so on. I have shown in the references. With this presentation, I express my deep sense of thanks to the Kelly Society's Arts and Commerce College, Gadag, for providing me an opportunity to share my views through this august occasion. I am very much thankful for all those professors and scholars who watched this webinar from different places. Thank you. Thank you for your patient hearing. If there is no queries, I will wind up my discussion. My sincere thanks goes to Principal Professor M.B. Kolavi of the college for extending me an opportunity to share my views. My thanks are also to Dr. A.K. Matt, IKSC chairman, who is my good friend. Because of her request, I agreed to share my views through this august platform. Thank you for your patient hearing. Thank you one and all.